One of the key issues in divorce is property division. And when you're dividing property in divorce, you first need to figure out what is considered marital property and therefore subject to division. The states differ considerably on what is considered marital property. And the majority of the states recognize a distinction between marital and separate property. But a few don't. And then there are all the nuances that go into that interplay of marital and separate. Hi, I'm Lily Vasileff, and I'm president of Wealth Protection Management based in Greenwich, Connecticut, and I support clients and professionals across the country as a divorce financial expert specializing in complicated matrimonial issues. So let's start with the definition of marital property. Marital property are assets and debts that are accumulated during the marriage. So what is separate property? Just about everything else. Assets that are brought into the marriage, but not commingled. Assets inherited during the marriage, but not commingled. Assets received as a gift during the marriage, but not commingled. And assets deemed separate either under a prenup or a postnuptial agreement. But guess what? There are some states that are called the kitchen sink states. And of course, Connecticut, where I practice, is one of them. This means that all property owned by either spouse, everything is considered included in the kitchen sink, meaning it all can be subject to division and divorce. Yep. An inheritance, a gift, premarital accounts, you name it. Connecticut could not be more different, for example, than New York, where I also practice, a state that recognizes and clearly defines both separate and marital property. So I could have the exact specific case facts in Connecticut and New York and come out with an entirely different outcome for the couple who's divorcing. So there really are no clear lines, so to speak, about how the nuances of separate property may be interpreted to be marital property. So for example, let me give you two examples. One spouse has a house before the marriage, gets married, and the other spouse spends their funds on making capital improvements, making it a home, and even paying for the mortgage when the other spouse, who is the owner, is unemployed. Does it become joint? Second example, one spouse had a 401k of maybe $3 million before the marriage and worked long and hard to get it. And this is the second marriage for the couple. They're almost on the cusp of retirement. He rolls over his 401k into an IRA and then starts taking out distributions to support their lifestyle and to make life better for his wife as well. Now, is that IRA separate or does it become marital? It takes an expert to really build the facts, to evaluate the nuances, to tell the story of the couple or your client. So I work with you to help you tell your story, to get the facts before we do anything else. And when you need help in this distinction, call me. Thank you.